This is Doc Deason's weather.
You're watching Doc Deason's weather.
Two decades of severe weather experience here for you when it counts. This is Doc Deason's weather, live now.
Hi, everybody. 747 as we keep an eye on this tornado warning, which is now in place for east central Nacogdoches as well as northwestern St. Augustine and southeastern Shelby County. That goes till 8:30 tonight. Weather Service has been watching storms all afternoon. Nothing that has produced too much, but we at least have been able to avoid the more widespread destructive activity at this point, and very thankful for that. Again, the warning is going to be for this cluster of storms and this specific area, which is about 18 miles east of Nacogdoches. Moving, looks like they're moving northeast at about 35 on this here. So let's put a couple of things into place for you. The storm itself is, I think, is going to be right along this area near Chirino, which would be over kind of along that intersection of Nacogdoches and what will be also St. Augustine County. And this thing here going to the northeast at about 35 miles an hour. All right. So with that being said, we'll continue to kind of keep tabs on this situation here from as far as anything spotted. I haven't seen anything indicating that yet. But that is something that we'll be obviously monitoring here as we go through the next little bit. So let's see here real fast. Let me check a couple of things real quick. Let's see here. Get a little bit tighter in here on this thing real fast. So we've got this thing right along Highway 21, just north of Highway 21. It looks like to me, with whatever is going on. Again, this stuff a lot of times will end up just kind of kicking up right on the leading edge of these lines here, just like it's doing. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. You got the severe thunderstorm warnings, which were there prior to, and now the tornado warning, which will supersede that as far as threat level is concerned. Not a whole lot of organized communities out here. This will pass northwest of the city of St. Augustine proper. So the warning itself, again, if you're just joining us for east central Nacogdoches, northwestern St. Augustine, and southeastern Shelby County, that'll run until 8:30. We're at 7:50 right now. So we'll watch this for the next little bit. In addition to that potential for a tornado, you've also got winds of up to 60 miles an hour in this thing, particularly on the leading edge of this cluster of showers and thunderstorms. This stuff in here, there'll be a good gust front on the leading edge of it. Haven't had just a ton of activity out in this neck of the woods so far today, and so that atmosphere is not. Hasn't been terribly worked over. We're also firmly in that warmer sector down here, which is going to be much more conducive to Significant thunderstorm development compared to what's going on further to the north, where we had more elevated stuff this afternoon and an evening, and not as much in the way of a volatile atmosphere compared to what we have down in this area now. So again, tornado warning till 8:30. This will be the storm itself. The main concern going to be east of Chirino now, getting over firmly into northwestern St. Augustine County. The box itself, the polygon, is it's the red polygon here, which gets up to just the south side of center. As this thing continues kind of tracking to the northeast, let's look at this over on Radar Omega too while we've got a second here and see if we can make heads or tails of a few more things.
Louder through the earpiece. I can't get it go through.
So we got a chaser down there near Chirino on the storm. It's pretty noisy here on the leading edge of this line, which is pretty typical of thunderstorms in that particular area. When you're on that leading edge, a lot of things happening there. Typically, that's going to be where the best wind potential is going to be at, and also in this case, or in a lot of cases, where the better tornado production is going to be when you're talking about stuff on an actual line, as this stuff kind of is. So we'll watch that here for the next little bit. New scan coming in now from the radar. So we'll get that out of the way here, or get me out of the way. Let's see here. Pretty quiet here in the good part of the area now. As you get back, this front comes through, or this main line has come through, and is really kind of slowing things down or shutting things down in the rain department, from really Henderson back down to near Wells and on to just north of Groveton. So we're kind of on the back end of this stuff, as we expected we would be by this point. You can see back to the north and west there. So still have not seen anything indicating any kind of a touchdown or anything of that sort, which is obviously good, but at least the potential is there. A lot of noise in this area of the line. So let's see here. We're still a good ways away from the radar, but I am curious if there's anything going on. Down in this area. Said a lot of noise down here. There's a notch right here. Let's take this back down to this little notched area. Always kind of interesting when you're looking at storms and things that develop in those kind of spots. So the warning itself does come up to just south, the south side of center. So the Weather Service is keeping a really close eye on this area down here, given the environment that we're in, which is understandable. Nacogdoches, yeah, and Arlea, Nacogdoches, you guys are clear in the city of Nacogdoches proper. This stuff is off well to your east, so I do want to let you know that. So we'll hang here for ever how long we need to. Again, if you're just now hopping on, that's 7:57 tornado warning for we'll call it northwestern St. Augustine, southeastern Shelby County till 8:30. Weather Service continuing to watch this storm that had looked a bit more impressive on radar here several scans ago. But it's along the leading edge of this better looking cluster of thunderstorms over the southeastern deep East Texas counties, which is really where the best shear and the best moisture content has been sitting at all day long. And, we've been kind of watching that, and the bigger concern, obviously, for anything tornadic that could pop itself up in here, given those parameters. Jimmy, Panola County, not involved in this warning per se. Looks like Weather Service is going to push another severe thunderstorm warning here shortly for Angelina and Nacogdoches County. That's probably going to be for wind, I would think. We'll see what they do with that here in a second. Lufkin, Lauren in Lufkin right now. Just some good wind in the Lufkin area, at least at the moment. I don't see anything that looks terribly threatening from a tornadic perspective there in Lufkin proper. You guys are just dealing with some really heavy rain, though. So let's see what we got back on. Make it real fast. All right, here comes that new severe thunderstorm warning.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
All right, this is going to be severe thunderstorm warning, as we mentioned, for Angelina, southeastern Nacogdoches, and St. Augustine counties until 9 o'clock. Weather Service with a line of storms from 7 miles northeast of Lufkin to 11 miles south of Diboll, moving east at 45. So they're saying 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts looks to be the main thing in there, and some small hail. So that jives with what we were looking at here a second ago. So let's get in more solidly on that. Here's the new warning. Here's the reasoning behind it. This this line of storms here from Diboll back up to Lufkin. So they're taking this thing east at 45. So there's the movement on that. This is what's bringing the really heavy rain into the city of Lufkin and into the eastern part of town now. You folks in Huntington and those areas out towards Sam Rayburn, be mindful of this thing headed your direction. Manning, Zavala, Angelina National Forest. Okay, so that stuff all moving east at about 45 miles an hour. So nothing tornadic in that. Just some good heavy rainfall, some strong winds on the order of about 60 miles an hour, and some small hail potentially in there. But the hail is going to be the lower end of the threshold as far as concerns go. Back to the north and east, tornado warning continues for St. Augustine and Shelby counties. At least it did. Looks like Weather Service is at. Are they going to go ahead and cancel that? Let's see here. Is it just. No, there it is. Okay, so it came off for a second, and they've still got that there. So, what else we got here? So again, if we've got anything, I think it's going to be probably right in this area north of St. Augustine, right there along the St. Augustine Shelby County line. If there is something there, that's where it's going to be tornado wise. That's what I'm expecting. We would have going on here, kind of in this little pocket where you see this little notch. See how the line kind of V's out here. If we've got something, probably going to be somewhere in there, if I had to guess, given the lack of anything that's really, really pressing. And I think that's why we've got this chaser that's easing up towards the southwest side or west side of St. Augustine. I think they're trying to get in on the backside of this thing and try to see it. So, and then there's so there's the new box. Weather Service just updated that, it looks like. So that makes sense. They've trimmed this out, pulled the Nacogdoches portion of it out, pulled most of the St. Augustine County portion out. So they've canceled. Yeah, they have actually, in fact, canceled the Nacogdoches part of the warning, which is good. They should. They'll leave St. Augustine and Shelby in there. Let's see here. What do we have latest? Get a fixed position on that. Tornado warning canceled. Nacogdoches. Let's see here. Thunderstorm capable of a tornado located 5 miles south of Shelbyville or 11 miles southeast of Center. Yep, that's right where we were talking about. Moving to the northeast. What are they going to give this thing now? Moving northeast at 60. Wow. Okay. Things are hooking along there. So, like I said, this will be our area right along the St. Augustine, Shelby County line. A lot of rural, unincorporated areas down in this area here. Okay. You got East Liberty. There's Hawthorne, Patroon. Some small communities down in there. This will be just over into southern Shelby County. So I'm keeping my eyes on this area down here. Storm pretty good in Lufkin there, Jason. Okay, thank you for that, sir. So again, tornado warning until 8:30 officially for Shelby County and San Augustine County. The remaining ones in there, but this storm is really just over into Shelby County now for all intents and purposes. Out of San Augustine County, if radar is to be believed there. Mike asking about Carthage. Let's look back over you guys in Carthage real fast. So we'll pull off of this. Let's get back up north. So Carthage is, yeah, you guys in Carthage have pretty much seen what you're going to see. They got the back end of the light rain there through Panola County. There is a flash flood warning out for another couple of hours for Panola County as well as Shelby County, Nacogdoches County for that rain that came through. But that is any issues we have there will gradually wane as we back the rain out and let that stuff kind of subside. But it'll take a little bit to do that. But hang in there. Got some folks asking about Timpson, so let's get in here. And yeah, Timpson, you guys on the back end of the rain as well, into northwestern Shelby County. Just some light rain, a few lightning strikes. You know, you're hearing probably some pretty good thunder that's off to the east and southeast of you now. Center, the worst of that rain and heaviest of the stuff is now getting east of center, and rain will continue to slowly slack off. You got that tornado warning for Shelby County. But I think the lion's share of that concern is going to continue easing off to the southeast of center. Okay. Johnny, watching this and Hip Hill, man, appreciate you being in there in Sabine County tonight. Not much going on in Sabine County at the moment. Showers and thunderstorms approaching, just about to get into the northwesternmost part of Sabine County, but nothing really going on yet of any significance. So, a lot of rain in Deadwood. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate that. You bet, Robert. Glad to help out, man. No problem there, Meekum. No problem at all. So we're at 8:08. Severe thunderstorm warnings, several of them. Tornado warning, one of them still in place. A lot of counties under flash flood warning. Haven't had the amount of talk about the tornado potential today from some folks. Didn't have as much of that as we could have. It looked like a pretty decent day potentially, but this is our first tornado warning of the entire area so far. So I'm glad for that. The warm front which came through was a little slower to get through the area than expected, and that put the whole mix kind of into a bit of a uncertain setup there, and didn't have quite the juice that we thought we were going to have by the time we got these storms moving through. We had a lot of shear, but we didn't have as much overall energy as we thought we were going to have, and so that led to less in the way of tornado development. But still, regardless, got something cooking here now. So thanks, Triple Point. Appreciate that. Storm Chaser's trying to catch up to that rotation. Okay, got into St. Augustine. That's good. They're getting close then. So whatever we've got, again, if you're just hopping on with us, I think is over into Shelby County at this time, east of 96. Okay, 96 runs from center to St. Augustine. I think whatever's there is going to be east of that line. Probably in this neck of the woods here, just kind of southeast of Shelbyville. Yeah, this will be south of Shelbyville, Josiah, if there's something there. You guys in Huxley looking off to the south of you guys, southwest of y'all. Okay. If there's something there, doesn't look as pressing as it has, but we'll walk it out here as long as it's still on the board with the Weather Service. All right, let's see here what we are seeing. Okay, tornado warning canceled for north central St. Augustine and southeastern Shelby. Storm that prompted the warning has moved out of the area. So the warning's been canceled. Okay. Yeah, it seemed like it cleared out of that polygon, so that makes good sense there. So we will pull that and replace. We are strictly severe thunderstorm warning laden now, and flash flood warnings. Let's back out of this real quick. Let's do a loop real fast. So range done, Carthage done, Mount Enterprise done, Appleby done, Wells, and everybody back to the north and west. Here's how the line looks. We're finally getting it into extreme northwestern Sabine County right now. Okay, no warnings. Well, we do have that one warning that does cover extreme northern Sabine County. That'll be north of Hemphill. So wind on the leading edge of this, you can kind of make that out here, about to get into and getting through Huxley now, about to step over the north side of the lake and get over into Louisiana. Interesting to see this thing here starting to just kind of pop out ahead of that main line over northern Sabine County. So you guys down in southern St. Augustine County there brought us over into southern Angelina County. There near Zavala, going to get a good dose of some rain here. Probably getting some pretty good wind, I would think, as well. You bet, Andrea. As this line of the gust front comes through out ahead of this thing. So the warnings for severe thunderstorms, really a wind-driven warning situation right now with that stuff. Yeah, Weather Service they're seeing small hail, but 60-mile-an-hour winds. That's what's driving the process for these severe thunderstorm warnings. At least haven't seen a whole lot of hail production or mention of even potential for hail with a lot of this stuff here. So that's good, at least from a roof and car standpoint, at least. A lot of lightning in this stuff, too. Look at all that. Man. You bet, Gary. Thanks for being there. So, 8:16 now. Strictly severe thunderstorm and flash flood warnings. Tornado watch has gradually been redefined. Tornado threat is over for places like Henderson, Tatum. You may still be officially in a watch, but the threat has ended for you guys in that area, and it'll continue to wrap up from west to east as this main corridor of showers and thunderstorms passes your location. So that's a good thing to be able to say. All right. At 8:17, I am going to step out here. We'll continue to monitor the situation. If any additional tornado warnings are issued, obviously we'll come in and talk about those. Anything of more destructive as far as wind or hail, we will also come back in and discuss that. But for the time being, given the storms and the condition of those, we'll handle the rest of this, at least for now, with just the post that we do on the social media platforms. So appreciate you always stopping in and taking a look at things when we're on live, or even when we're just posting updates as we do each morning during the 7 o'clock hour. Try to give you a 7-day forecast. So if you're new to the page, maybe it's the first time you've hopped on here, I'm glad you're here, and love you coming back and keeping tabs on things. We try to do what we can to keep you apprised of things, but also not take up too much of your time with a lot of stuff if we don't feel it necessarily warranted. But we'll be back in to talk as we need to. Thanks for being here tonight. Thanks to our friends at Rose City Air for helping to partner with us and help to support the cause here with us tonight. So you guys enjoy your evening. We'll come back and talk more as we need to later on, all right?
Thanks for watching this live broadcast from Doc Deason's Weather. When weather's at its worst, we're at our best. Doc Deason's Weather.